Otherwise you could release her early and the bees could end up balling her and killing her. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, managed one better than last time. Amazing. I'm happy with that. Hello, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. This week is going to be kind of busy. I've got 2 queens that were in cages from last week. That was one in my angry hive and one in another hive that I need to release this week. That's job number 1 really. The next one is to see how my grafts from last week went and make up some nukes to put those queen cells in. Hopefully I've got 10 out of 10, but chances are it's probably going to be like 7 out of 7. Who knows? Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance during the week to shake all the bees down into the bottom box. So it means that I've only got 1 hive, and that was the stingy hive that I managed to do that with. So when it comes to making nukes up, they might be relatively weak nukes. We'll have to see. I'm hoping I can get more bees. Like, I'm going to try and check some of the other hives and see if I can find the queen. If I can find the queen, I can make some more nukes up and do it that way. The next thing I need to check is the Nucleus colonies that I made from my first set of grafts. I need to check them to see if the queens have returned yet. I'm starting to get badgered by people to sell them nukes now, so I really do need these nukes to have good queens in, ready and raring to get going. I've done a good job with the smoker today. Smoker's really going for it today, isn't it? Jeez. It's like something out of Sherlock Holmes. The weather's been a bit crap today, so it means that the bees may be a bit more aggressive than usual. They may be a bit more defensive than if it was sunny. I think the flow has dulled again from all the rain that we've been having, just because there's not a lot of bees flying about. It's flying temperature, so it's about 15 degrees C, so it is relatively warm for them, so they are able to fly, but they don't seem to be flying out of their hives at the moment. We'll have to see. I'll have to get in there and have a look. But I'm going to get cracking and see what happens. Fortunately, there's 4 hives here that don't actually have to open up this week because the queens are being released, and hopefully they're all being accepted and they're all laying and stuff like that. But I genuinely have no idea, and I won't know until 2 weeks from now. So fingers crossed. But yeah, other than that, I'm just going to get cracking. So see you in a minute. Right, so this is the first hive with a queen in a cage in that I need to release. So I'm going to have to go in here. I can't remember which box she's in, so I'm just going to have a quick look under the crown board. Yeah, so the yellow cage is here, so hopefully she is okay. We'll have to see how they're reacting to her as well. So there seems to be a lot of bees surrounding her here, so I'm going to slowly open it up and pull her out. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this frame out here so I've got more space. This is an empty frame. So the reason I'm taking my time with this is because there could be queen cells in here. Now they do seem to be going to the queen and looking at her and seeing if she's okay, which is good. Because I took the queen that was in here originally out first, on the same day that I put her in here, there is a chance that the bees will have made queen cells out of the original queen's eggs. So I just need to do a quick check and make sure that's not the case. Right, so I need to be quite thorough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just get to the queen, make sure she's alive first, and I'll go to the bottom box and work my way up. I want to make sure that she's okay. Right, so when you get to the stage where you're at the queen, try to hold on to the cage, and when you're prying, pry towards the back of the cage, because you've got when it comes to the cage, you've got a big bit here and you've got a slidey bit like that. Make sure that when you pry to the big bit here, so you're keeping the slidey bit against the frame, because that's the bit that's going to fail if it gets pulled apart. So you want to make sure that you're prying and making sure that this is staying against that frame like that. Otherwise you could release her early and the bees could end up balling her and killing her. It is very difficult to stop the bees when they decide that they want to ball a queen. You get very stung fingers when that's the case. But I'm just going to break this and I'm going to lift her out very, very carefully. So the bees are a little bit defensive because obviously this is going to be their only queen. Now they've already got rid of the tape that I put around the cage, so it's a good job I did what I did. So I'm going to take her, lift it, and have a look, see if I can see the queen. Yes, I can see the queen, she's well alive. There she is, you can see her with the dot, that's the queen, she's still alive. The bees have eaten away at the tape here, which is a bit annoying, And I don't know if you can see, but the fondant has started to be eaten away as well, so there's not that much fondant here. So what I'm going to do is, I've got some spare fondant that I'm just going to shove down into there to increase the amount of food, so they've got a longer time before she's released. It just slows them down that little bit more. But if I put her down, you can see that the bees aren't trying to sting her. So if you look, they're not arching the bums or anything like that. They're sticking their heads through the gaps and trying to feed her. So that's a good sign. That means that it's more likely that she's been accepted. So that's really good. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this down and have a look through the bottom box. I want to make sure that there's no queen cells down there. She should be kept nice and warm here because I've just put her above the other bees. So I'm going to put this down here, go through the bottom box, and we'll just be as quick as we can and probably as brutal as we can because I need to crack on really. So we're going to smoke them down. The smoker's doing a great job today. Don't know how I've managed to light it so well. Let's have a look. Shut you off. Right, so the chance of the queen cells being in here is slim because I don't think the bees particularly liked their queen. Don't mess about when it comes to finding queen cells, just shake the bees off. If you're not wanting to keep them anyway, it doesn't matter, just have a look, make sure there's no queen cells. Oh, and we've got a queen cell right here. So right here, there's a queen cell. So I'm just going to pop that off. So in getting rid of all the queen cells, I'm making them hopelessly queenless because it's been a week since anyone's laid in here. So all the larvae will have got to the stage where they're too old to be turned into queens, or have been capped. So any eggs that they've turned into queen cells, those are the last bastions of a chance. And I'm getting rid of them, so it means that they are now hopelessly queenless as soon as I've finished looking. That means that the queen that is in the cage is literally their only chance of survival as a colony. It stresses them out a bit, which I do not like, but it means that they will accept that queen as their own, or increases the chance of them accepting the queen as their own. There is still a chance if she is, say, a buckfast and this is a mongrel colony. When I say mongrel, it's just, these are just native bees to the area. These aren't a particular breed or anything, like Carniolan or Buckfast or Russian or something like that. These are just Rainford, born and bred. But if I'm putting a Buckfast in here, then it means that they are technically a different, not species, but they are technically a different type of bee. So they sometimes don't accept them so easily. Sometimes they accept them for long enough that the queen will lay some eggs, then they kill her off, and then they produce a new queen out of her eggs. It is very annoying when that's the case, because instead of an F1 buckfast that you're paying for, you're getting an F2 buckfast instead, which is still generally alright, but they're not as calm and stuff. Which doesn't really bother me. I don't really care if my bees are a little bit grumpy. I prefer them to be like proper bees like this, where I'm shaking them up, I'm causing issues, so they're flying around going, what the hell's going on? That makes sense to me. I'm not angry about that. It'll calm down. As soon as I put the lid on and I walk over there, they'll go back to the hive. And they're not trying to sting me. They're not trying to sting me. They're just investigating me. Just flying around, seeing what's going on. There you are. So I'm just going to smoke them down so I can put the next box on. So there was one queen cell then. It wasn't a complete queen cell either. It was like a half-assed one. So I wonder if these guys are just ready for this queen. We'll see. Yeah, so the bees are just hovering over her here. Get out of the way. So they don't really care about stinging her. Let's have a quick look. Nope. I think the majority of the cap brood is hatched as well, so... Yeah, because this was full. I've got some queen cells here. One's capped, so we'll see you off. Boop. And see you off. Boop. This is emerging brood as well. Chance of queen cells on here, slim. Right, Queenie, I'm just going to move you over here for a minute. Sorry. Try not to smoke the queen cage if you can. It should be okay, but it's best not to. So this is just nectar going in there. So there's definitely still a bit of a flow going on because they're collecting nectar. But I don't have to give them any space because they're going to stay this size, if not shrink a little bit, before the queen is emerging and laying her brood up. so I don't need to add any space. Also, there's loads of space in the bottom box as well. No queen cells that I can see. There's some queen cups at the bottom. Just give them a squish. If you're struggling to find any queen cells, always look at the bottom down, because queen cells are vertical and they always face down, so it means you'll see more circles facing down. If you see the circle facing down, it's usually a queen cell or a queen cup. But there's larvae here, and these haven't been turned into queens, so I wonder if this queen's pheromone is strong enough that it's prevented the bees from wanting to produce as many queen cells up here. So I'm just going to give them a little smoke, just because they are getting a little bit grumpy. They're not stinging me, they're not going for my face or anything, but they are flying around and they are jumping onto my hands, and I don't want them to get squished by accident. Shake you off. Okay, let's just queen cell down here. Alright, and this is the last frame. There's no queen cells on here. I have completely made them queenless. Completely queenless, hopelessly so. Yeah, so there's no queen cells on here either. So they're now hopelessly queenless. So I am now going to put the queen... So let's just fall on the foot there. So is this the frame that she was on before? No, that one. Right, so let's go over there and we'll prep the queen again and we'll release her. Have a look here. Ignore the bees on the back. There's tape in the way, so I'm just going to pull that off and we can have a look. So annoyingly, some bees have died or have been pushed into the gap there. But if you look, the fondant isn't filling these holes here. It has been eaten down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust the caps and I'm going to push fondant this way. That will do two things. Hopefully it'll push these dead bees out, so it means that these guys can get to the fondant again. And it'll also mean that it'll increase the amount of time it takes for this queen to be released. I'm not going to bother taping her again because I'm not going to be opening this up until after the queen's been released. So I'm going to bust the caps. Like that. There you go. And then I'm going to get some fondant. I've got some fondant here. I'm just going to push it in. And hopefully those corpses will be pushed out. Make sure the queen's not hurt. Where is she? She's at the other end, so that's fine. Push there. And now the bees can reach the fondant. And I'm going to do the same on this one as well. So, push it in. Try and make sure that the queen isn't there, because you don't want to squash her with fondant. But she's right here somewhere. You can see it. Oh, you can see her right there. And it's absolutely fine to leave this slightly proud as well. It's going to be the bees on the outside making their way in that matter. Okay? So you can see the queen, she's nice and healthy, she's right there. Let's go put these guys back. So find where you had her last time, lower her down. She's now bust open, so it means that the bees can start making their way to releasing her almost straight away. And they will do, they'll go straight for that fondant. Bees love fondant. So I'm going to push it up. Take care, because I don't want to crush her or any bees with her. There we go. So she is now in the place that she was before, right there. I'm going to put this frame in and I'm going to close them up and I won't be in here for another 3 weeks. Yeah, slug. Blah. Right, so this is the other hive that has a queen cage in. Let's have a look, see what it's like in here. There's still a lot of bees and they are surrounding that queen. So I'll have to have a quick look at her in a minute. So I'm going to pull this frame out here, same again. Now these bees are grumpy and these will be flying bees now. So they've had 2 weeks to be nurse bees and now they're going to be grumpy bees. So move that to the side here. And we're going to look for queen cells. First of all, I'm just going to get rid of this burr comb here because it's going to cause issues at some point, I'm sure. If you ever see burr comb, just knock it down. Do not mess around with it. Do not try and let it stay there because it'll just cause issues. Right, so we're going to look for queen cells. What I said, just be brutal, look for any sort of queen cells, shake the bees off, don't mess around. Right. So we've got some queen cells here, so we've got 1, 2 there. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put that to the side and just check to make sure the queen is still alive and happy. So I can see bees moving around inside, and I think I can see the queen, so I'm just going to prise that off. Whenever you're prizing, make sure you've got your hive tool under the thin bit there. Let's have a quick look. Yes, so I can see the queen, she's walking about, she's happy as Larry. The bees haven't chewed off the paper here, the tape as well as the other one. I'm just going to have a quick look, see what the state of the fondant is. Right, yeah, so the fondant here needs filling up as well. So I'm going to go do that. I'll be back in a second. Right, so I've put more fondant on the queen there. So now that I know she's okay and that she's ready and raring to go, I'm going to start checking for queen cells. So I'll go back to the one where I saw 2 queen cells, which is there. So I'm going to knock these down. Where have I put my hive tool? That's 1. That's 2. Oh, that sting on the bicep hurt. And there's a fresh little bee coming out now. So nurse bees accept queens readily, especially if they've never met the queen beforehand. Their job is to come out the cells and just go, right, where's the queen? I need to make sure that she's looked after. And that's their job. That and looking after the larvae. But if there's no larvae, then all the nurse bees just hanging around with the queen, which is good because it adds protection. Got 3 queen cells there. Just get rid of them. Some queen cups at the bottom here I'm just going to destroy. I know there was nothing in them, but it's just to be sure. Okay. Queen cells here. It looks like they're struggling a bit for food, so I've bust open some of the honey for them. So if you break the cappings of the honey, the bees will come and they'll start eating it. So it needs to get a bit of food from that. That looks empty. I could probably get away with moving these guys into a nuke box, but I'm not gonna. I think they're okay as they are. Oh, that's a very heavy frame. Right, we're getting onto honey, so the chances of queen cells being on here is very slim. Okay, that's good. Right, build them back. Right, so she is now been broken out there. Bit of fondant on the end. It's very proud. So I'm going to close this up now, and I'll only open these up in 3 weeks as well. Right, that's job number 1 done. We've managed to free those queens. Now it's time for job number 2, which is to look at the grafts, and then after that, make nukes up for them. So here we have the queen rearing hive that I made up a couple of weeks ago, and I've put some queen cells in. This colony is extremely queenless, so desperately queenless, apart from those cells that I put in. So my guess is that they will have done everything in their power to make sure they made any queens they could. So I'm hoping for at least the same as last time, which is 6. Last time I did 6 out of 9. I'm hoping for maybe 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, something along those lines. You're always gonna guff up 1 or 2, especially when you only do it like a few times a year, like I'm doing. So I'm just gonna alarm pheromone these guys. Smoke them down. So they seem relatively calm at the moment, even though I've just opened them up. I'm wondering if maybe a queen cell somewhere else has hatched and they have a virgin queen walking about. What are you guys doing? No food. Okay. Just wondering whether I didn't check the super and maybe they had a queen cell up here. I don't know. We'll see. If there's no queen cells, then it means that there's a virgin queen walking around. I'm just not used to them being super calm like this when they are queenless still. Right, so one of the queen cells is the one with the blue dot, the drawing pin. The bees are getting a bit more antsy while I'm getting closer to these things, so it looks like maybe these will have queen cells. Let's have a look. So lifting, and we have, yes, we have queen cells. Let's have a close look for you. So if there's bees all over the queen cells, do not shake. Just very gently knock them off with your fingers. If you're scared of them stinging your fingers, which they can do, just use the back of your nails. They can't sting the back of your nails. Let's get the bees off the bottom here. This frame's nice and free. We can have a close look. So first of all the queen cups are still in the same place. That's good, I've not lost one randomly. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, managed one better than last time. Amazing, I'm happy with that. And if we look closely, there is so much royal jelly in each of these cells that she couldn't eat it all. So she's here developing, and there's so much royal jelly still left that they have just left it in the bottom. So that's amazing. They all look really good, really straight, apart from that one that goes off slightly to an angle, but that's fine. Nothing to worry about. They're all pockmarked. They all look really good queen cells. These are brilliant. I really like the look of these. Amazing. So I'm going to put these back, and I'm going to make up the nukes, and then I'm going to retrieve them again. The reason I'm putting them back is to, one, keep the bees calm, closing them up, and two is because I want them to stay warm inside the hive, because as I said, it's a little bit chilly today. Don't want to leave them out too much. So I need to make up 6 nukes, and I'm going to give one of the queen cells to these guys. Right, so let's go do that. Right, so I didn't get around to actually shaking all the bees down into the bottom box of this one, so the queen could literally be anywhere. But I still need resources from this, and I also need some bees. I'm going to be very careful and try to not steal the queen from this hive, but this is unfortunately one of those things where it's a very likely possibility that if I'm shaking bees out, I'll miss the queen and she'll end up in one of the nukes over there. The good news is that there's bees in the top, so it means that this is probably lousy with bees, which is good, and we'll just get cracking really. I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm going to look for the queen on the frames. So if I see a frame of, say, like food or something that I want to use in a nuke, I'm going to check like crazy for the queen, and then I'm going to take it across. Because I'm only going to be using these 2 hives here for broods, resources like food and bees, you can't really shake 2 lots of different bees into the same nuke. So I'm going to try and stick, say, like 3 nukes with this one and 3 nukes with that one. That's the aim anyway. I might have to go and raid another box somewhere, but we'll have to see. I think the queen is probably going to be in this box here, but I don't know until I look. So I'm going to go through the bottom box, see if I can see it, and if I can't see it, I'm going to use some frames from here to fill a nuke, and I'm probably going to shake some bees as well. So I'm just going to give these guys a little waft of smoke, not too much because I want them to stay on the frames. Now I've said this in other videos, but you might be new, so I'm going to say it again. With this apiary, I do not care about honey. So this is not a honey producing apiary. This apiary is purely here to provide me with resources to produce nukes. It's a queen rearing colony. Right. So these guys seem a bit uppity, so maybe they've started to want to swarm. Or it could be that the fact it's manky today. So we'll see. So we're going to look for the queen, make sure she's not there. Right. So the bees are flying to my hand. I'm just seeing if they're trying to sting me or not. They're not trying to sting me, they're just investigating. Now, this is where all the forager bees is going to be. The bottom box where the foragers come to. This is where the stingy bees, if there are any, will be hanging out. The upper boxes should be more full of the younger bees, which aren't stingy per se. So I'll probably steal resources in the form of brood from this place. Now there's been some EFB and AFB that has been found in the area recently. Not our area, but in the northwest. So I'm trying to be as cautious as possible. So any dodgy cells that you see that look like they could possibly have AFB or EFB, take a picture of it. Doesn't matter if it's just one out of the whole hive, take a picture of it and send it to the National Bee Unit. So these guys are all over my hand, so I'm going to smoke these guys down because I think the alarm pheromone is starting to get pushed around. So we'll just puff them a bit, stop them from getting angry. So that is a great frame of brood, capped brood, so I'm going to steal that one. I'm just going to see if I can see the queen. As I said, I think she'll be in the second box. Because that's where the queens have been recently. There's some young bees on here as well, so it's actually going to help if I move it across. Yep, so that's a good frame of brood. I'm going to steal that for one of the Nucs. Bring it over here. Now it's always kind of scary stealing bees from a hive where you've not located the queen yet, because there is a high chance that you'll steal her. But the good news is that if you do steal her, then you'll find out, because these guys will start producing queen cells, which will be a nightmare, but you can always recombine her as well. So if that's the case, you can always combine her again. Just look for the queen. Got some brood here, not a lot of brood, it's just one side. I can't see the queen. So I'm going to steal this and put it in the same nuc, so they've got 2 frames of brood. A good sign to see if the queen is on a frame is if there's eggs that are facing directly up. If I do see the queen, then that'll save me a lot of trouble. I'll just put her in a cage, keep her with bees, and I'll just take what I want from the hive then. So this is mostly larvae on this one. There is some good capped cells, but it's mostly larvae. I'm just having a look at the cells and the larvae, making sure that they are okay. I'm not going to steal that one. I don't really want to give them larvae because it'll give the bees too much work to do. I want to give them cap brood because cap brood don't need anything and they produce their own warmth. So all they need to worry about is when the queen emerges, looking after her. And that's all you want from them. They'll have enough to do because the nuc boxes, the frames, aren't particularly sparkling. That's another good frame of brood. Might get all the brood I need from the bottom box really. I'm going to take this to the box over there. So that has gone to nuc box number 2. Seen all flipper. So the closer you get to the entrance, the closer you get to all the flying bees, which means that they all get grumpy. Tell you what, I'm really glad I didn't make queens out of this one, because that was the plan. I was going to make queens out of this hive, because last year she was brilliant, but this year she's got really grumpy. Remember, just take your time. They may try and sting you. If they do, just move away. And if they're battering you, smoke yourself. You don't move, they do. Smoke should keep them away long enough. So let's keep them away from the lugs. Let's have a look at the brood. We're going to be shaking bees into those nucs soon, so don't worry about it if these are grumpy, because they'll fly off. It'd be really useful if I could find Queenie. Nope, she's not appearing. So this time of year you can get away with making 2-frame nucs. It means that they probably won't be ready to sell straight away as soon as the queen mates and you've seen that she's laying well, but they'll survive quite well in the weather, that's fine, and they're pretty good for producing overwintering nucs. So now is a good time to make some 2-frame nucs, and what they'll do is they will slowly chug away and they'll get stronger and stronger throughout the year, and then when it comes to winter they'll be really strong and they'll be able to get through winter really easily. I'm just going to smoke myself. There's a bee here trying to sting me, go away. So these guys aren't too happy with me stealing their brood, which is understandable. You wouldn't like me stealing your baby, would you? So I'm just going to take really slow, really careful. So this has got no brood on it. I'm not going to shake bees from this box, just because these are mostly going to be flying bees. Alright. So all I need now are 3 frames of brood. So this has got some brood on it. I need to check each frame, not just for disease, but in case I can see the queen. If I can see the queen, though, I can relax with the rest of the box. So I found some eggs, so she does make her way down here. The eggs are lying on the side, so the chances of being on here are slim. 2 frames of this box. The next hive will be a lot faster, because I know where the queen is in that one. So this is a good frame of pollen, so I might steal this, because this will be good for any fresh bees that are produced by the queen. That's the queen, so I'm just going to take this frame across. And last frame. Shouldn't be anything on this really. They don't tend to do it when it's the warm method. They don't tend to put a lot of stuff on this first frame, especially facing the entrance. Just take my time, I don't want to get stung. Yeah, there's a little bit of pollen, not much though. Okay, bro. Right, so what I'm going to do is I've taken quite a few frames there, so I'm just going to replace them with manky ones, because I've got a load of manky ones from these nucs. Taking it random from the pile over there that I made. So the benefit of doing this with a colony is that in essence you're doing a split. So it means that the bees will now come downstairs and go, oh my god, we've got so much space that's just not being used. I thought we had loads and loads of capped brood, so fortunately we don't have to deal with that anymore. Right, so I'm going to put a box on top and hopefully that'll calm these bees down a little bit, because I won't have direct access to the flying bees who are flying out, having a nudge at me, then flying back in, then seeing the roofs open, and then flying back out, having a nudge at me, and it's just going to be a horrible cycle. So pick this up, put this over the top. Let's see what they're doing. So when you're putting a box on, go over the lip, over here, and then drag it back. That'll knock any bees that are on the edge into the hive, and then drag it back too far, so this side goes over the edge as well. Drop it down and push it that way, and that pushes the bees back that way as well. I'm just checking for the queen. If not, I'm going to shake this frame off, because it's got a load of larvae on here, so a lot of these bees are going to be nurse bees. So it's a good frame of capped brood, but there's a lot of larvae on here, and I don't want to give the bees too much work to do. That's the queen, so I'm going to give this one to another colony. Not going to give the frame, I'm just going to shake them out. Into the other colony. I'm still looking for 2 frames of capped brood. I've got another brood box to go after this one. That's a good frame of capped brood. It's not amazing, but it's better than now. And I really need to start filling the 3rd nuke box, because it's getting colder. And the bees that are in there need some warmth. Yes, I'm going to give this to them. I'm just going to move this back in. It's in the way otherwise. Right, that's a good frame of capped brood as well. It's got a bit of food on this side of the frame as well, so that's good as well. Making that. I'm pretty sure I marked this queen, but I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. So, I'm not sure. Right, let's have a look. It's a good frame of capped brood again. Capped brood on one side, not much else. A lot of larvae, so I don't really want to be giving this to one of the nukes. I will shake the bees off if there's no queen. So one nuke is 100% finished. I just need to put the queen cell in there. That's good. I'm going to put a lid on so they keep warm. As for the others, they need some more bees. And they need some food as well. Might get away with just doing 2 boxes of this hive. So I've not seen the queen in this yet, so I've either shaken her into one of those hives, or she's in one of the upper boxes. She might be in the 3rd box, I'm not sure. So this is a good food frame. It's got open cells of food, it's got some honey as well in case it gets really bad. So I'm actually going to put that in. All these colonies. I just need food frames now, I think. Maybe one more brood frame, capped brood. So it's always good to get frames that are open cells of honey or nectar. Bees will eat that. They won't eat capped cells unless it's really, really desperate. And even then they don't particularly like to. So when that's the case, you have to bruise the honey cells and bruise the cappings. Right, I'm going to put some frames in. As a bee just pooped at my face. Feels like a bee's just pooped on my face. Right there on the cheek. Lovely. Right, so this is a honey super. But there is a chance that the queen might be up here. I'll have to see. I just had a thought. If the flow has stopped, that could be another reason why these guys are grumpy, because they're trying to defend their food. Because this is the resource for staying alive in winter. So if you've got an idiot like me who's trying to, or they think is trying to steal it, then they might get very uppity about that. So that's probably why these guys have suddenly gone very grumpy. The spaceman's back and he's after our honey. That's what they're saying. He's nicked all of our children. Lots of nectar. We've got lots of drone brood there. I don't particularly need any more bees, so I'm literally just looking for food. So I'm going to leave this unmolested, and I'm going to look in the very top box, because it is very heavy, so the chances of there being honey in here is high. Also, it's the right frame size for the nuke, because it's full size. So I'm hoping I'll be able to find some brood, maybe, but it's not necessary. They're all over me, bloody hive tool. Do you mind, guys? Come on, I'm busy. Broke a lug, that's annoying. Before you lift any frames, break the seal between them. I always forget to do that. And now I've got a broken lug in one of my frames. Look at this, they're all over my hand. Annoying. There we go. Oh, that took some doing. Right, so that is a full frame of honey. Wow, and it's got some open cells on it, so just have a quick look. The queen, I'll move that across, and then there's one nuke completely full of food. Smoke has calmed down now, that's annoying. Doing a great job before. Some food there. Lovely frame of honey there. We'll leave that one. There's no uncapped honey there. So what are you? That's honey, foundation. You look like you're... I'm just seeing if I can see open cells of food. If I can, then I'll give that to one of the nukes. Yes, that's a full frame of open cells. Quick look for the queen. No, so I'm going to give that to a nuke and close that one up. I'd like to find another frame of brood, but if not, it doesn't really matter. I think they're okay. Yeah, so I've given them some food, so they don't need any more. So I'm just going to give them another frame over here. These ones will be fine. Right, so I'm going to give these guys some random frames that are manky and let them clean them up. Right, let's close this one up. I've got what I needed from it. Let them calm down a bit. So the next set of nukes is going to be a bit easier than this one, just because I know where the queen is. She's at the bottom, and I don't have to worry about her. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go change my gloves and get a fresh set of hive tools. As I said, I usually give everything a rinse in between hives. Just leave it for a few minutes and do like a little shake, and it usually does a good enough job. But because these are so covered in propolis, I'm just going to change the gloves. It's just better that way. Also, it gives the bees time to calm while I'm here, because as you can see, you're getting bothered as well. So yeah, okay, see you in a minute. Right, so that's 3 nukes ready. I need another 3 from this box. We have 2 boxes that are full-size brood frames, and then we've got 3 supers. I'm going to be using the bees and the supers, to shake into the nukes. So I will be using them, but I need the frame, so I need to get 6 brood frames from 2 boxes. So I'm hoping that that's going to be viable. I still have a few bees from the other hive buzzing me, but it shouldn't cause too much trouble now. They're mostly closed up, and as soon as I walked away from the hive, they left me alone. So these guys are still on alert. I think they're still travelling from the nuke boxes over there. Right, so let's just get these down. Another thing is that I've seen a lot of people online selling J tools that have like the business mark and stuff like that, and they're selling them for stupid prices. They don't need to be branded. These hive tools that I'm using, I got off eBay for like, I think it was £1 each, £2 each. You don't need to spend a lot of money on these hive tools. They're hard wearing. You can't bend them or anything like that. They're not going to break. So don't fall for the whole you need to buy branded hive tools. Okay, just don't fall for it. There's too much crap out there. So my smoker is about to give up. See if I can relight it again. What's going on inside? There we go. So they're mostly burnt out, actually. If these guys start getting uppity, then I'll go and relight it, but for now I think it should be okay. Right. Oh, that honey smells really nice. I just found some drone brood up here. Just having a quick look, making sure there's no queen cells. 'Cause once you keep the queen away from the brood, especially if there's a bit of a distance, they can start to make queen cells. So I'm just having a quick nosy. I'll have a proper nosy when I'm shaking bees into the nukes in a bit, but I just thought I'd just do that quick. Twist this off. There we go. So if you're pulling up frames from the box underneath, lift it ever so slightly and then twist it as best you can. That's how you break that seal between them both. Right. These guys are uppity as well. I think it is the fact that there's a bit of a June gap going on. I thought the June gap had already hit and we were back into the flow. because they were collecting loads of necks the other day, but these guys kind of proving me wrong. They look a bit grumpy. Definitely defensive. You see them all crawling to the surface. I think I might have to go and relight my smoker. I'll see. If I get stung, then I'll go do that, but right now, let's just try and get away with it. So fresh gloves, so I don't have the sting pheromone on my gloves. They're investigating me, they're having a look. If I stay still, hopefully they'll get bored. They are flocking to me though, so if you look at them there, they are walking up my hive tool there and flying to me. And they are in my veil. Now, no one's trying to sting me, they are just investigating me. So they're just trying to figure out what I'm doing. So this isn't aggressive behaviour, this is defensive behaviour. They're trying to see what is going on. Why there are two gigantic blue arms in the sky. Okay, so I'm just leaving them, but I'm going to start smoking them back a bit again. I want them to go back down onto the frames. I also don't want to squish anyone either by accident. I need to get my smoker going. I'm going to go sort that out now, back in a second. Right, I've got my smoker lit. See the difference now? I'm going to push these bees down. They should go down and stay down for a little bit. Bees trying to sting me, I'll clear off as well. So if I get the air filled with smoke, it will reduce the bees from being able to find me. Right, so that is a frame full of brood. Look at that. Wowee. Absolutely incredible. That's going to a nuke. Another frame of brood, cat brood. It's not as good, it's mostly drone, so might hold off on that one. So look at what this one is. That's another frame of incredible brood, so I'm going to move that across. So look at this bad boy is. You are just bees, but you've got food. So there's food here, open cells of food. So I'm going to put that in one of the nukes. So that is a good brood frame, but I'm going to hold it to the side for now. Just have a quick look, see what's going on in the other frames. This is an empty frame. This is a pretty good frame of brood, so I'm going to take that for the nukes. Oh, incredible. Another good frame. Well, that side anyway. This has got open cells of food on the other side, so I'm going to give that to one of the other ones. Right, I think this is a frame of recently emerged brood. Yeah, so we've got some cappings there, but it's recently emerged. There's not that many bees in there. It won't do very good for putting inside a nuke box. The next frame though, this looks fantastic. Yeah, that's a good frame of cat brood on that side and on the other side. Brilliant, that's going in the nuke. Right, let's have a look. That one's drone brood, I don't want to put that in. Let's have a look at the last one. The other one is food. Let's have a look at the CEU. If you've got open cells of food. There's a frame over here that's mostly brood. It's got a load of drone brood on it as well, but it's mostly capped brood, so I'm just going to use that. And I'll probably shake bees off the frame, so I'm going to keep this one. So as you can see, it's mostly capped brood, but it's got a load of drone on it as well. I'm going to put this one on the nukes. And then I don't have to look for any more brood. The rest is just a matter of shaking bees in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this box off. Because I've taken quite a lot of the frames out and I've taken a lot of the bees out, so they're going to be depleted enough that I think that having this extra box is probably going to get in the way and slow them down a bit. You guys are getting bothered by bees, I'm sorry about that. So I'm just going to knock these out and put the other brood box on top, because I'm sure I'm going to take some frames from it and I can put those 3 in. While I'm down here, we'll have a look, see if I can see the queen. I'm sorry if you're getting like buzzed. The only reason I say that is because it's not looking that full down here. I'm a bit concerned that even though I shook everyone down, the queen's not down here. if that's the case, I might have just filled another nuc full of queen. Go to where the nice concentration of bees is, here, and look for eggs. Got my torch today. Yeah, there's eggs down here, that's good. So the queen is still down here, it's just the bees are elsewhere, cleaning it up. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'll put this back. So the queen is down here, that's fine. I'm going to smoke these guys. In fact, yeah, I'm going to smoke these guys down just quickly. Might remove the queen excluder next week, but for now, I'm just going to smoke these guys down. So I'm not really looking for brood. I might take some more brood, but I'm mostly just going to steal some bees, I think. We'll see. Ah, you flipper. Ow. The sting was so sharp, it went through my glove and tore it to bits when I pulled it out. Ow. I'm just going to start shaking bees into the nucs now. If I see another frame of food or something that I like, I'll take it out. Let's put cat brood on there. Shake this. Right, so that's all the nucs filled now. They've got lots of bees, they've got all the brood and stuff like that. So I've managed to make 6 colonies out of 2 hives, so that's pretty good going, really. I'll close these guys up. Now, normally I'd take the queen excluder out, so the queen's got free reign, but she's actually got quite a lot of space in the bottom box, so I don't really need to worry about that right now. I might do it next week if she's filled at the bottom box. But to be honest, like, they've got quite a lot of honey in the supers, so it'd be quite good to start getting that converted from some honey, some brood to pure honey. So yeah, I might just start moving that queen excluder up. Right, let's put the other boxes on. And then put queens in those nucs. Once the queens are in those nucs, it's time to check the nucs that have already been made, see how they're getting along. And then I'm pretty much done in this apiary. I'll go and check the other ones. So these guys are 1 box down, but I have taken a lot of resources from them. So it should help them actually taking some space off them. Also, the bottom box has a lot of space untouched by the queen, so it should work out fine. The problem with homemade boxes is they never sit properly. At least mine don't, because I'm terrible at bloody building stuff. There you go. Right. Tighten you up. And then get those queens. I'm going to get the queens out from here. Give these guys a queen and then leave them alone. They need a frame to take up the space. God, I'm king of manky frames. Right, so I'm going to get the queens out of here. Put that frame in all along the edge somewhere so it doesn't cause any issues for the queen. And then I'm going to give them their own queen cell. I want these guys to be happy. So I'm just going to waft smoker over the top just to keep them calm. That bloody spaceman's back. That's what they're saying. There we go. Right, so there's a lot of bees on there, so I'm just going to knock them off. If you don't want to use your hands, do not use one of the brushes that you can get in your kits. They can damage the queen cells. So what I'd suggest is just getting some leaves and just like dusting them off with the leaves instead. That's what I'd suggest. Also, try and keep them vertically down if you can. Try not to lie on them flat, or definitely don't lie them upside down, because at this time of the metamorphosis they are producing their wings. Try and get as many bees off as possible because you don't want to lose any. You can always shake them back in after you've finished harvesting the queen cells, but it's just best that way. You just don't want anyone to get lost, really. Right then, push you all the way over here, like that. Give you this absolutely horrible frame, like that. Right, and then let's put you with the queenie. Which queenie should I use? I'll use you. You look good. So let's open you up a bit. So to get the queen cell off, all you need to do is just hold it by the plastic and twist. And it should come free. Like so. So there you are. Queen cell going inside. Open up the frame. Lower it down as best you can. Try and be as careful as possible, you don't want to damage it. And then let go, and the frame should go against the plastic nubs like that. Perfect. Let's put the other box on. And then these guys are done. Okay, so we've got 6 lovely queen cells left. So job now is to just pretty much do the same thing. Twist the queen cell off, like that. Place her in between the brood, so I know these frames here, these back ones here, are where the brood are. Just lower her down gently, make sure she doesn't get damaged. And then pop this on top. And that is one done. So I'm just gonna lift this up. So there's a clump of bees here. So I don't like losing the bees, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna brush them into this nuke here. Twist. Gently down. And get these out there. Lid on. 2 done. This is the easiest part. Lift that up. Twist. Lower her down gently. Lid on. Right. There we are. Almost there. Now, these nukes may seem full right now, but the flying bees have yet to fly off. What they'll do is they'll settle, and then once they've settled, they'll go off foraging. When they go foraging, they'll just go into automatic mode, and they'll start going back to the original hive. So the number in these nukes is just going to suddenly plummet. Right. So every single one of these now has a queen cell in it. So that's great. Job done. I'm just going to tap these out here. Now, I've pretty much weakened all of my hives here to an extent where I won't be able to make any more nukes. So I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 nukes. I've got a few more nukes around the place in the other apiaries, but that is me now done for this time of year. I'm going to do another spate again in August. That's when I'll do it again, because these guys will have built up enough strength to be able to do that. If the colonies that were angry were nicer, I'd be able to keep using them and harvesting them, so I would have been able to produce a bit more. But this kind of just goes to show how small scale I am. I've only made 11, and that's me kind of checked out until August time, at which point I'll be making overwintered nukes, which hopefully I'll be able to make the same number again. But I don't ever really hold out hope for overwintered nukes. I try my best to do as many as I can, but when it comes to August time, you're wanting to keep these colonies as strong as possible going into winter. So we'll have to see how that goes. I've got my queen rearing frame, I'll take that out. I'm going to tie these up with bungee cords, and I'm going to seat them around the place and try and find the best places for them, really. And then we'll have a look at the old nukes from the very first queen rearing, and we'll see how they're doing, see which ones are now queen right, if any are drone laying, or if any are queenless. We'll have a look at that now. So these are 2 of the colonies that I did the first round of queen rearing. Wow, that, kids, is why pallets are no good as hive stands. Oh, I'm gonna have to change that hive stand at some point soon. What's to do for now, unfortunately. Right, yeah, so this is one of the first colonies that I did queen rearing with. Check the lid for queen. So these should all be starting to lay soon, like this week. There's not a huge amount of bees in this one. That's fine, that can be fixed by giving frames of brood from another one. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take this frame out here, and we're going to make sure that the queen has emerged. And the way we find out whether the queen has emerged is that there is a hole at the bottom of the cell. So I'm just going to look at this, make sure the queen is not here. There's no queen there. Okay. So the queen cell is right here. I'm going to just break this open, and we're going to have a quick look at the cell and see how it looks. So if we look here, you can see that the queen cell kind of looks still intact. Right there, they've cut a hole through the bottom. That is what the queen does. Now, if there was a bloody great big hole in the side of it, that means that they've torn the cell down. But because there's a hole there, and you see it's been neatly cut in a circle, that means that the queen was released. So that's a positive. So now what we need to do is see if there's any eggs in here. If there's eggs, it means that there's a queen. After that, we need to look for brood. If it looks like drone brood, then it could be that she's a drone laying queen. We also want to look at the pattern and stuff like that as well. So we're looking for eggs now. Don't bother looking for the queen yet. Just look for eggs. There's no eggs in that frame. So this nuke looks quite weak. So a lot of the flying bees must have flown back from this one. No eggs here. No eggs here either. Just work your way through. There's no eggs here and no eggs here. So this looks like maybe the queen cell failed. I've not gone on the last two frames yet. Can't see any eggs there. This has some brood still emerging, so the queen would go here if she was laying, and I cannot see any eggs still. So that's first port of call. We can't see any eggs, so it means that the queen has not started laying yet, or she maybe has not made it. So the next stage is just to have a look, see if we can see her. Now, virgin queens are slightly smaller than normal well-mated queens that are laying. We have been having some terrible weather recently, so if she hasn't been out mated yet, then that could be why. And when it comes to mating, there's only 70% chance that a queen will mate successfully. She may have been caught up in some rain, eaten, you don't know. Right, so I've gone through it and I can't see the queen anywhere. It's a very small colony, so I'm concerned maybe they just weren't big enough to provide her with the food and the help that she needed. A way to find out if they are actually queenless, rather than just a virgin queen still walking about, is to put a frame of brood, like some eggs or something in here, and see if they start drawing out queen cells. If they do, then it means that there's no queen in this colony, and you need to add another queen cell. I had a look at my notes, and it turns out it's actually only been 2 weeks. I usually give bees 3 weeks for a queen to get mated and come back and start laying. So even though those two don't have a queen that's laying yet, it's not the end of the world. I can give them another week. And as for the person who's been contacting me to buy a nuke off me, I've got that split that I did with Laura when I thought she was swarm and stuff like that. That queen is huge, she's beautiful, and the nuke looks really strong, so I can give that to her. So all seems to be okay. I've had a little think anyway, as you can see. It was only a little panic, but yeah. So let's have a look at these guys. So there's quite a few bees here, so there's about 4 seams of bees. That's good. So this one's relatively strong, so that's good. I'm happy with that. First one's really, really small. Let's have a look. No eggs there. See what the queen cell looks like. See if she's emerged properly. Oh, little rat. So at first glance you'd see this and you'd be like, crap, they've chewed away the queen cell. How on earth am I going to find out if the queen actually emerged? Well, this here is proof. See that perfect little circle there? That is the tip of the cell. She's chewed away at that and she's left and she's gone off somewhere, and that's stayed there. The bees have chewed up down to the plastic, as you can see, but they've left that there for now. So that's proof that the queen has emerged okay, so that's good. It's looking like this one's not got any eggs either. So I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not vastly concerned, I'm just a little bit concerned. I was hoping that maybe they would have got mated before now. Oh, found the virgin queen. Yeah, so she's still a virgin queen. I can see her. Hang on. So if you can see her there, that there is the virgin queen. She is still in the state where she wants to get mated. You can tell because the abdomen is very, very sort of scrunched up, as you can see. So that means that she hasn't been fully mated yet. She's still here, she's still walking around. She's filling up her stores in her gut with nectar, and she'll probably go out and do another mating run today. Yeah, she's just practicing her wings. Perfect. Right, I'm going to put her back very carefully. I need to see if I can see her, because I want to put her back and I don't want to hurt her. Be very careful putting this back. Okay, so I've seen the queen and she's still in virgin form. So that to me means that if she's like that, then the others are probably going to be like that as well. So there's no point in checking the others. I don't want to cause any undue stress or harm to these before they are ready. I'll give them another week and check. The queen is still present in here. We've seen her. So that means that the queen is probably present in the other ones as well, and I just wasn't looking for her properly. I was looking for a big queen rather than a small virgin queen. So right now in this apiary, I only really have one colony that I need to keep an eye on. The rest are either mating queens or are having queens that are releasing. So there's a queen in a cage in this one that's being released now. This is the really angry hive. And I won't get to check these until possibly next week or the week after. 28th it is. So that's interesting. I probably won't be going to this apiary next weekend. I'll probably be going to the others and we'll be having a look at them. I'll probably keep popping over here during the week just to check on these queens, see if they start laying. But this will probably be the last time you come in here for a few weeks now. Yeah, I don't think the others are going to swarm because I've done massive splits on them, so they've been reduced considerably. I don't even think they need any more space either. Right then, I guess that's it. Right, that's it at the end of the day. No new queens that I can see have been mated and started laying yet. That's fine, I'm going to give them another week. We have officially made all the nukes that I can make at this time of year, filled them all up with queen cells. If I had more colonies that I didn't have to like requeen with because they were nasty and stuff like that, then I could have made some more nukes this year. It does just show that how one small problem, like a couple of angry hives, can really inconvenience like a small business or a small scale farmer like me. Because those two colonies were nasty and I needed to requeen them, and we've got two hives that are just really lackluster, it means that I'm not able to make as many nukes as I want to, and it also means that I can't sell as many nukes as I can. So the money coming in this year are going to be considerably lower than they were a year or so ago. I should be fine though, because last year I didn't sell a single nuke because of the chronic bee paralysis virus. When running a business, you should always have enough to be able to weather a storm. I should be fine with this now, that's fine. I can deal with just reduced numbers. If I was to go through another year of selling no nukes whatsoever, then yeah, I may have been in trouble. But because I'm going to hopefully have at least 11 nukes to sell, that's okay. I should be able to deal with that. Thank you so much for watching my videos. It genuinely means the world to me. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It helps people find my content, which helps me, but hopefully it will help them. If you really like the content, then please hit the subscribe button and have a look at my back catalogue. I've got loads of videos now, all the way from when I started 3 years ago. I've got how-tos, fact checks, all sorts. There's plenty of stuff for everybody. Just have a nosy. If you have any questions whatsoever, any critiques, any advice, anything, put it in the comments section. I will get back to you ASAP. It's usually the day after I've made one of these videos that I'm looking and going, oh, okay. And I'll get back to you as quick as I can and I'll give you an answer to my best ability. I'm always happy to help people because I was helped so much when I was starting my journey, and I think it's very important that people with a bit of experience should always help the people with none. Right, I'm going to go take my daughter to swimming and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.